Hello everybody and welcome back once again to another episode of Polybridge. Thank you for all of the support on the video so far. Once again, still doing a daily series, so 2,000 likes on this one. Another daily episode tomorrow. Enough about that. Let's jump right into this. So look at this, we've done all of these with the exception of one right there. Under budget, and we've got one more level to go before we go into the next area where they added in an extra level. Anyway, this one is called Elevation. We've got wood, steel, piston and cables, so the sports car goes across, then there's the hydraulics, then the little bug and paddle boat. So they happen at the same time, right? So this one needs to go from there to there, then this one needs to go across while that thing comes across as well. This is called Elevation. Do we have a limited amount of roads? We do, 10. I want to see if we can stretch from one side to the other. We can, excellent. I think I know exactly what we've got to do here. We need to delete that and build that road at the bottom. But then that needs to be a hydraulic system that pushes up to the top. Now what's going to be tricky about that is that we need to pull it up more so than we need to push, because of these anchor points there's nowhere to really push from, I think, is the problem. So those would be split joints, and these would as well, possibly, so they would connect. Yeah, I think that's about right. So we're going to need a little bit of a frame to connect these together. We're going to play with the grid on, because I think for this type of level, the grid is actually going to be your friend, basically. Some levels seem to play a little bit better without. And I don't think that's the biggest triangle size right there. I don't think it is. Is it me or I'm having trouble connecting these? There we go. So that's going to be that bit sorted out. When that splits, that might disconnect. I can't remember, but that'll do for now. Then to support the bridge above, I want to connect to those two together. Do we have steel? I think we do, you know. 4 available. I'm picturing it being 1 and then 2 up here. See, we're going to connect to the hydraulics from this bit all the way up to the next. When that splits again, I don't know if it's going to disconnect from this bridge. Lots of questions to be asked. Okay, let's see if I can come up with a basic design, because it looks like when we actually go to use this thing, we're not 100% sure what's going to happen. But I think what we'd be better off doing is building a little frame like this on either side, and then having the steel support beam just go straight up. Although it will need to be connected from over on this side as well, I think. So that doesn't look bad. I got a feeling it's not going to work though. When this probably just needs to go higher, doesn't it? And we can't connect to the bottom point, which is what I originally pictured, because it doesn't go that far. That being said, if I had to just bring the height of that down, it might do it. But height is important because we need it to lift up. So now the hydraulic phase comes in. Ooh, and it all collapses. How did that happen? Is this thing here one big bar? No. But on that side it's not either. So I'm going to guess that had something to do with the split joint. But why did it collapse on one side and not the other? Maybe because of that it's just going to give way on one side. Okay, so let's try that again. And this time I'm hoping, there we go, comes up nice and steady. That looks like the way, doesn't it? We just got to get the height right here. So, yep, it destroys it. Let's stop that. And let's raise this up by as much as we can. Apparently. There we go. So that's probably still not enough. But we will try anyway. There we go. Just the tiniest bit short. And it collapses again. Alright, so what about if we can't do that? Let's bring it back a little bit. That should make the hydraulics slightly longer. And maybe just enough. It may also change where all the... Where's the stress off? I want to see the stress. There we go. That's just under by the tiniest amount, and now it wobbles like crazy and knocks the whole thing over. I didn't think about that, did I? Okay, so this is about the best I can do at the moment. The problem still occurs that the bridge wobbles, and I think that's because of the split joints, and I can't remember if this means it'll connect again or not. I'm sorry if I've learnt that already and forgot. You know what I'm like. If so, though, what we could do is sort of perhaps redo this whole iron bar thing going up and connect it to that platform another way. But if it does split, it means it disconnects from these joints as well. So I really don't know what's the best thing to do there. And I've just tweaked the suspension again, so this time it should be exactly level. Oh, look at that. That's about as good as you can get. And now it's going to wobble again, but unfortunately, It didn't wobble enough to get the car all the way across. Right. Yeah, maybe we'll try that one more time. So at the moment it's 47. Let's see what happens if we go for 48. And this is so finicky to adjust. Oh, got to move the mouse ever so slightly. Right, and now we're going in the wrong direction. 48, 48. Okay, here we go. 48%. It'll be slightly higher. Probably not going to make the difference we're looking for. That looks completely level now. And... no, we didn't get a little bit of luck. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. So that right there is the way that it's not going to wobble, I think. And I've been thinking that connecting these together probably isn't going to work, right? But then I noticed we also have cables, which I wasn't really thinking about. So if we connect the cables across like this, that should provide adequate support, I hope. And if we need to change this right here, I do not know, but it's on 50, so let's start the simulation and hope that 50 is good enough. If it's, not enough, then I'm going to have to find another way to do this. It is a little bit lower, unfortunately. That really sucks. That really does. So how can we make that taller? Okay, I was able to make this all taller by using 2 of these hydraulics, and then I thought, well, we can make it a little bit bigger if we come back even further and pull these back off to the side, but that's going to make this wonky. So I put a cable across the middle, and it kind of works until the car goes across, so I did want to show you this. Nowhere near a solution yet, but check this out. It's really cool. I love the way it raises up. It looks really good, and then the car goes on it, and then it all gets wonky. Yeah, so you've definitely got to have it coming straight down. I'm just wondering, what if it were the other way around, like this one? Actually, no, this doesn't even make sense, but I'll show you what I was thinking. Like, that's the one that's straight and that's the one that was wonky, but I think the way we're going to have to do this is find a way to keep them both straight and bring this bridge up to the right height. This whole time, it was so obvious. We just needed to lower these little bits here to make it a little bit bigger. That means it's got to pull it up further, and actually, no, it doesn't have to put it up further, but the gap is bigger. Anyway, let's start the simulation. You can see I sort of reduced the materials on this side a touch. Could probably do that in the middle and on those sides further, but for now, that'll do. This bridge looks real nice, and it passes the test. It wobbles a little bit, but the car gets all the way across to the other side, and what's our footprint score here? Not so bad. Better on the joint stress over there, but in general, pretty average result right there. So on to the next level we go. We got a 32-meter balloon jump. Have we done this one already? Let's go exit to the map because we've now moved on to the next set of levels. And did it jump us forward? Let's have a look. What ones? Oh no, I clicked on it. Yes, okay, it put us on the wrong one. Right, I'm glad I did that then because we've got this one next to do, which is nice landing. And we've got wood, steel and cable and a sports car, and that's it. So, is it just going up there? There's no A and B, is there? There doesn't need to be because it's just the flag. Alright, so we've got to go up and over. It's another big ramp one, isn't it? And that thing goes fast. Okay, I reckon this is one of those ones that's going to work a lot better on grid off. Yes, so let's say we bring it out a couple of bits like this, then we start to peel up. And quicker each time. And then, like that. No idea if this will work. We've also got cable is available to us. And unlimited amounts of steel. Right, let's see if we can build a frame for this thing. So this isn't looking very good. You can see there's not much form to it. It's kind of just been pasted, hashed together. But it did make me think that the angle here needs to be like a little further back. In fact, let's see if we can just tweak this a touch and actually get it to go over the top of the balloon, because this might actually be winnable. I was going to suggest something entirely different here, so let's see it go around. Not good enough. It breaks as it goes across. I wonder if one of these being changed to steel might help, like that one right there. And we're still under budget. There's a lot of steel gone into this, and I have an idea as to how we're going to make this work. That's actually a fair bit better, isn't it? Right, so can we get any more like leverage out of this? Let's say we bring that forward a touch more, then that one goes a bit more like that and like that. And maybe that's just enough to make it work. Let's see. Off we go. No, that was worse. And the whole bridge falls apart. Amazing. And that thing lands on its front wheels right there. And look, they're sort of poking in and out. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Let's zoom back out. Right, so what we're going to do is scrap this and just build a straight road. Or maybe not, but I'm thinking if we just go straight over to this one and then start our curve somewhere around here, then this bit should be a little bit easier to support and maybe we can get a bigger arc. I don't know. I'm going to try it and we'll see what happens. Wow. We did it. Pretty good score down here on the budget, and with this game you just go like one little tweak from failure to success. Let's play that again. I'd like to get this thing to not break, but look at that. Ah, and it hits the thing as it goes over as well, and then it lands perfectly. That's really cool. Well, not quite perfect, but enough for this game to call it perfect. So where did we break? We broke there, and you know what? If I go back and change these, I bet it's going to change the outcome of that landing. So let's put that there. Let's also put a support strut there. You can see I've sort of extended it over here. That's quite important. And off we go. Wow. Wow. Oh my god. Oh my days. Wow. So it turns out that those were pretty good how they were, except they broke. I think it might have been that one that made the biggest difference there. Let's see what happens without it. Ah, you see? See, I know what I'm doing. And then we don't get the... Oh, we do kind of get the landing. I think it gave us that before it flipped over. So now we've got like a joint there. So that's just these two, isn't it? Let's change one of those to steel. And then let's just try it again and do it bit by bit. So another one there. And it still lands. So I think the curve is good. Right, so I think in order to get this sussed out, we need that one. And then something over here has got to change. I'm going to try putting that little support there. Also, the next one along isn't actually steel, is it? So let's make that steel as well. Our budget keeps going up, by the way, but I do want to do this without it breaking. And now I've changed my mind. I'm happy with that. Let's go back. What did we change? We made one of these over here, steel. I think it was that one. Bam. And now we're going to select both every time, aren't we? Oh, no. What have I done? Let's see if we can quickly patch that back together. So it was one there. That's too far away. I should be able to... Let's see if that's not going to hold out. Damn it! I wanted to complete it and go to the next level. But we've already sort of technically completed it. That'll do just fine with the terrible landing. On to the next level. We've got to go back to the map now. Yes, yes, we know that. Oh, and that reminds me, you've got a save and load feature up here, and on one of the previous videos we did, I did mention that I wanted to be able to save the levels. I think that's been there since forever. And I've saved none of the levels that we've completed, but that's fine. So, on to Zen Gardens now. This is the last area. I don't know if they're going to add any more after this. This one is Seesaw. Let's go and check this out. I got a feeling they want us to build a seesaw. Right, so we've got a budget of 65,000, wood, steel, piston, suspension and cables, the whole works. So, surfer's van and large paddle boat. Right, then hydraulics, then surfer's van and large paddle boat. So I'm not sure which one it is, but it's one, then the other. Let's have a look. Okay, so A to... Yeah, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? We've got to build a big road from there to there, put a pivot point in the middle, and then get it to swap and go the other way. That's really cool, actually. I like that a lot. Can we use the grid to get a nice road that looks pretty equal, doesn't it? Yes, and then that means that our pivot point is going to be right there. Obviously, that's going to be with steel. And then we just need a frame on top to connect it all together here. I wonder if I can use the copy and paste feature efficiently. So we'll start off with wood. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near enough. We might need some support underneath it as well. Is that going across at the same gradient? Yes, that would appear to be doing so. So if we tweak that, that looks about right to me. If we select the copy, can we then sort of half paste? Yeah, that's the correct gradient. That's a good way to check it as well, actually, because you can kind of see it all matching up. Alright, let's get that going all the way across. So this will fail, we know that. Or maybe it'll fail when the bus is on it? Interesting. I'm wondering now, can you get away with steel across the top here to hold it together? I'm not sure, but I'll tell you one thing, we've got extra anchor points at the top here. I can't help but feel we're going to go up like this with the steel, you know, have a support at the back. And then maybe the hydraulics pulls rather than push from here, which is one thing I considered. Ah, yeah, that's the thing. No, the hydraulics only needs to go once to complete this. We just need it on one side to push this bit up and that bit down, so it could probably go either way. This thing's going to wobble like crazy. We could possibly use cables to help hold it up, but no, that's going to be tricky because we could use it to hold up this side, and then when it gets pushed up, the cables are no longer relevant, but on the opposite side, they don't work that way because it needs to extend. Alright, so I think best bet right now is to see if this will hold out with steel. Okay, this is really lame. Look what happens. It knocks off a tile there. Otherwise, this thing looks like it might hold out. And then bam, down you go. So, we got to nudge this a fraction, which means we've probably got to do something on the other side as well. That's going to make the whole thing awkward now. I bet this won't pass because the weight's going to get shifted as it goes over. Oh, actually held out. Right. Then, bam. Catastrophe. Right, so we need a split joint at either end. And how do we want to do this? Let's try hydraulics here from that point to that point. That's also going to act as a little bit of a support as well. We could have one on the other side that retracts as well, actually, which might be important. So I'm assuming we're going to have that little bump over on this side as well. And now how does it fare? Right, it all sort of falls in on itself. Kind of not surprising. Does make me wonder... what would happen if we were to do this from a different point then? Let's delete that. Let's get hydraulics from there to there. Too far away. Okay, and that's going to retract, isn't it? What about from here to there? No. I'm not sure then. I'm going to have to play around with this a little bit more. This thing is going to be tough. So much trial and error. Will it hold out? Oh my god, it held out that time for a little while, and then it collapsed. So we've got to have that little bump on this side like we have on the other one, and those needed steel supports to hold it together. Looks like we might need a little bit more of that. But you can see what we're doing here. We've got our pivot in the middle, which I've had to sort of reinforce, and then we're pulling up on this side. That seems to be the best way to do it. Also, let's turn the grid off. I think if that were like straight, that might help a little bit, because otherwise there's going to be slack, right? Anyway, that's been fine-tuned, adjusted a couple of times. Now it's the other side over here. This obviously doesn't work. Didn't really expect that to work at all. I'm not sure how to go about doing this, and as I said that, an idea did sort of just pop into my head. Problem is that's a split joint, so that's going to collapse. Let's say we go sort of up. No, you don't want to place there. Okay, now you do. Let's say we go up like this. Right, that's now a relatively good little support bit. And then let's say we add... Oh, how is this even going to work? Can we go from there to there? No, I think we're going to add two of them, but then they make up the same distance. Right, so we would need to go to there. Now, what are they going to do? They're going to contract? No, let's make those expand, and let's see what happens. I don't expect that to work, but who knows? If you don't try, then you don't know. Okay, so all of that's good. And it falls apart in the middle, but, you know, this thing is holding on to it. So then this side over here, right, yeah, it still collapses in that mid bit. So I reckon a couple more bits of steel over on this side. How's our budget doing? Still under budget. So that might help support it a little bit more. Then what happened over on this side? Just a case of probably not enough steel. So let's chuck some of... Ah, that was bad. Can I undo? Is there an undo button? I really wish there was an undo button. Actually, we built all of this on the grid, so it should be a case of just turning it back on temporarily. Bam, so that right there should make it a little bit stronger. We're getting there, we're like edging there bit by bit, and I think the concept that we got will hold up just fine. It's technically not a seesaw though, because these are separate. So one side works good, and the other side, if that holds up, that's going to work. As dodgy as this looks... Oh, and it actually worked, and we did it. Look at that. Amazing. So, the budget maybe could be trimmed in a couple of places, but, you know, that would take a lot of trial and error. Good to see that score right there, close, and all of it actually was pretty decent. Well, I'm happy with that. That worked out really well. And we did it. We did another level right there. That was Seesaw. So, what's the next one going to be? triple dump, wood and steel, and you just have 3 trucks going along at once. Oh my god. Just 2 anchor points like that. That's going to be absolutely crazy, and we're going to do that in the next episode, because that's it from me this one. As always, thank you ever so much for watching. 2,000 likes on this video, another daily episode tomorrow, and thank you as always for the support, so I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.